Hi guys, we're going to talk about filling out the lab forms, the culinary method for filling out the lab forms. So what I'm going to do is in Teams, you want to go under Files, Class Material, the regular culinary lab forms. Everybody's going to fill these out. Even if you're on Distance Ed this week, you're going to fill these out because this is our standard culinary lab forms and you need to learn them. So go to the regular lab forms. There's 4 forms in here. There's a lab form, New Academy Standard Worksheet, Recipe Conversion Sheet, Recipe Costing Sheet. I've already gone over what those do, but I would sit there and highlight them and then download them, boom, to my computer. Okay. Now I can get out of Teams for now. I can go here to, actually, I'm ahead of the game here. Sorry, guys. Downloads, and there. See, I've downloaded it twice this morning because this is the second time I've recorded this because I made a big mistake on the first one. And I make mistakes all the time and don't re-record, so you knew it had to be a big mistake. So it doesn't matter which one of these I use, they're the same ones. But so I'm going to pick open one. We're going to start with the recipe conversion worksheet. So I'm going to open that up. Then we wait. Okay, there we go. And now it's blank. Before I put anything in here, I'm going to save it as something else. So I always have my blank. So I'm going to save this as, I'll put it on my desktop, 9 point, what's it call this? 1.1 chocolate chip cookie. And the reason I did that is because the number I will give you, it'll be as part of the lab under Teams that you're going to turn these papers into Teams. So, but I have to calculate which one it is. So don't quote me on these. It's definitely not the 1.1. But now I can hit save. And the reason I did that is simply, now I can start typing in some information here. I can put my name. Okay, I can find where I want to put my name and go chef. Okay, I can put the date. Okay, 10, 12, 2020. I can put the class period. This is obviously 5th period. Oh, but I'm a 5A kid. Okay, culinary 1. So we know. This is the formula that's going to help you. We'll come back to that in a minute. Here you're going to start listing the ingredients of the recipe. Now your recipe right now, I can tell you, is going to be found under OneNote. Under your classroom, 5th period culinary 1. Okay, I've added the C1 standard recipes, which has everything. Number 1, you're supposed to do the presentation, the chapter of the book is there, especially if you're Distance Ed, you don't have the book. The anatomy of a recipe is right here. I want you to read this article. There's videos and links to read on measurement. And here's your ultimate chocolate chip cookies. And here's the video on lab forms, explaining the lab forms. And the one I'm doing right now will be placed right underneath that. Okay, so you'll know where that will be found. But that's where those are. So here's the ultimate chocolate chip cookie recipe. 2 1/4 cups gold medal all-purpose flour. So we're gonna go all-purpose flour. So we don't care about gold medal. It's a brand. Okay, that's fine. We're not advertising for a brand. So we're gonna go back over here to our thing, and we're gonna list all-purpose flour, and the amount was 2 1/4 cup, and that's the original amount. Okay, so we're gonna go and list all the ingredients of the recipe. Well, just like magic, I happen to have that done. So, all-purpose baking soda, teaspoon salt. It's all in here, right? Oops, I have the teaspoon there. I don't need the teaspoon there. There we go, salt. Okay. Butter, granulated pack. Okay, it's all in there. And here's the amounts. Okay. The original amounts. Don't worry about the percentage. You'll learn that next year. It's just a blank, but my other kids have to use this column, so just you can leave it blank right now. Now, the standard amount. What is the standard amount? Well, if you watched the video, if you read the done my presentation, or watched any of the videos, our standard amount is the standard amount we use in restaurants to where anybody can touch this recipe and make it the same. Now, if you're in class, we did an experiment where you could see the differences. The video talks about it. In fact, one of the videos does my experiment. So if you're distance ed, definitely watch the videos, particularly this guy here. He does my exact experiment that I did in class. So if you watch that, you'll see the experiment. I wish I could record my demos, but we're not quite ready for that yet. Okay, so back here at these amounts. So what are the standard amounts? Well, we did this in class yesterday, so we know that a standard amount is a form of weights and measures, something that will be the same no matter how it is put together. So we know that our standard amount is going to be 11.25 ounces. Okay. Oops, not sixes, ounces. Okay, good. There we go. Baking soda, we found out is going to be 0.2 of an ounce. Now, we talked about this in class. If you want to use the metric system, because some of these are so small, watch this. You can. Okay, that'll give you some grams in there that higher than 0.2. But you have to do the flour in metrics too. And there is a little thing about metric conversion and how it's different, but you can do that. 8 ounces of butter. So here we have our standard amounts. Now, where did we get these standard amounts? We actually weighed 2 1/4 cup of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda. We did that on a digital scale in class. For those of you who at home, if you don't have a digital scale, you wish to get one, I can recommend. My students tell me they sometimes buy their own. $10 at Amazon, $12 at Walmart. So you can get your own little digital scale. I'd watch which batteries you put in them. One of my students yesterday had one that she paid $10 for at Amazon. Excuse me, and she could get AA batteries in it. I've got some that I paid probably more than $10, but I have to put CR2032 batteries, which sometimes are a little bit harder to find, and I mean they're still readily accessible, but 7-Eleven is probably not going to have them, and they're also a little bit pricier for a battery, so you might want to watch which scale you look at if you're looking at those. But your own digital scale will come in handy, and I've got one at home I use for many reasons. Sipping on coffee, it helps me, measure my portions, etc., etc. Okay, so now the conversion factor. Here's something else I wanted to talk about this recipe. This recipe yields 48 cookies, according to this, but it doesn't tell us how big the cookies are or anything else. So we do not have a total yield, and we need a total yield in order to know how to convert. So before we can figure out the conversion factor, we need to come up with a total yield. So the best bet is to add this stuff up. So I'm going to take and put this stuff in my calculator. Boom, power of magic television. I didn't think you guys wanted to see me add all that up. So 45.75 ounces. Now I would not leave that way. I would convert it to pounds. But for this, it says it's making 48 cookies. I'm saying these are 1 ounce cookies, and that is fine. But maybe we want to change them to 2 ounce cookies. And I want you guys to make 12. I want every kid to make a dozen 2 ounce cookies. So 12 times 2 is what? Good, 24. All right. So 24 is going to be our new, and 48 is going to be our old. We could do it that way, okay? Or we know we just need 24 ounces of dough, and we have 45.75 ounces of dough here, and we just know we need 24. So your new over old could be one of two things. It could be, I'm trying to think what's the easiest thing for me to use. Let's try a Word file. So I could go, okay, so it's because it's new over old equals the conversion factor. I could go 2448 equals the conversion factor. I could go, what was our ounces over here? Of course, I could round that up. It doesn't matter. I'm going to round that to 46. Easier for math. I want to go, I need, sorry. This does not work. Okay. But if we have 46 ounces and I want 24 ounces of cookie dough, that will work. So now I can put that into a calculator and say 24 divided by 46 is equal to 0.52. So our conversion factor is equal to 0.52, and that's what we're going to use in a calculator. Well, let's just round that to 0.5, half. Basically, you're going to make half the recipe. So now we go back to this. We know our conversion factor now is 0.5. 0.5 because we like to use calculators. I know you kids like to use calculators, and you can, by all means. You can use a calculator on your cell phone. You can use a calculator on your computer. I don't care. I never stop kids from using calculators because, you know, some of the math we do requires some calculations. So 0.5, 0.5. Now, here's where it gets tricky. You're going to take all of this, 11.25, times 0.5. And what are you going to get? Let's see, 11.25 times 0.5 equals 5.625. 5.625 ounces. I'm not sure how to do that. Are you? Okay, well, this is 0.2, so this is going to be easy. 0.1. Okay, this is 0.1, so that's going to be easy. 0.05. It's going to be easier to calculate than it is going to be to measure. Okay, 8 ounces is going to become 4 ounces. Okay. 7 ounces is going to become 3.5 ounces. 5 ounces is going to be 2.5 ounces. 2 ounces is going to become 1 ounce. 0.2 ounces is going to be 0.1 ounce, right? And 12 ounces is going to be 6 ounces. Oops. And yes, you should be putting in here, just like I did up there, the ounces. So you should be putting in ounce. Okay, all the way down. Those ounces should be in there. So that's how you figure out this page. Now, you then take this page. We're going to go back to our pages. We're going to find the New Academy Standard Recipe Worksheet. We're going to open that up. This is a Word file. Once again, we enable it. We save it. File. Save as. And I did change this. You guys didn't see that magical sleight of hand, but I did change it. We're going to save it on this PC. We're going to put it on the desktop. Come on. There it is, desktop. And we're going to call this 9.1. That's why I did that sleight of hand thing. Chocolate chip cookie. Okay. And then we're going to hit save. That's on my desktop too. So, student name again. So we're going to put in our name. Jeff. Okay. Class period. I'm a 5A student. Okay. Culinary 1. The date today. 10/12/2020. The lab assignment is going to be 9.1 chocolate chip cookies. Okay. So far we're good, right? Okay. Recipe name. The name of the recipe is the name of the recipe. So this is the ultimate chocolate chip cookie. Okay. The number of portions. Now we've changed it. We know we're only making 12 portions. Chef said the portion size was 2 ounces each. So this should be mathematical. 12 times 2 is we should have 24 ounces. Okay, and there needs to be a weight of measurement here. Okay, ounces, pounds, needs to be something there. Okay, cooking method, it's going to be the creaming method for mixing, but we're also going to bake. So we can put that. Recipe source, this recipe came from Betty Crocker. She's my favorite gal. Okay, .com. So you can do that all as one word if you want to make the website. You can do it as there. BettyCrocker.com. You want to put that HTTP or www, you can do that too. That's fine. Oops. Do the space. Wrong button. Okay. There you go. Okay. Description. Usually I'm going to tell you, this is where I would cheat. I would copy the description from the recipe. So you put in whatever description you want. You know, the ooey, chewy chocolate chip. I don't know, whatever. Okay. Down here, once again, you're going to list your ingredients. All-purpose flour. Okay. In the order they're used in. So that would be this order. This recipe was written in standard format in the fact that the first ingredient is the first one we're using, etc., etc. Because we're adding the dry ingredients first, and then we're going to mix the butter. Bitter. I can't type this morning, guys. Sorry. Butter. I can't type any morning, let's be honest. And then sugar. Okay, so you're getting all this stuff down. And you're putting in the amounts. We have to go back to this sheet to get our amounts. We're putting in these amounts, the new amount, 5.625 ounces. So, 5.625 ounces. Oops. Once again, don't worry about the percentages. Okay? So technically speaking, if you're computer savvy and you type these in correctly, you could go in here and just go. Because I hate reinventing the wheel, don't you? Okay, whatever. Just paste. Did we get it all? One does not seem like it's the last thing. Let's go back over to this. It's not. 0.1 and 6. Okay, so. And 6. Okay, so now if you're that savvy, then you go back over here and you do one of these. Because I don't like to work that hard. Copy these. You'll learn that I don't like to work hard. And I try to give you guys the shortcuts too. Okay. Oops. You want to duplicate all-purpose flour. Don't need it. So there it is. Okay, so that's done. Procedure methods. Well, if you really want to be smart, you go back to the original recipe under here, and you do the same thing where you copy and paste this stuff. That's up to you. Okay, how you do it. But you're going to type in the procedure methods here. Footnotes, head notes, and there should be a head note. Preheat oven to 375 degrees. So now you have that filled out. You put the procedures in there. Don't worry about footnotes yet. That might be a note about, add more chocolate. Add more chocolate because you need more chocolate and more chocolate chips. I don't know, because you may find that that's too light. So that's a correction to the recipe. So something after you bake it, this footnote can be filled in. And then for some reason, this is taking up 2 pages. If you want to, because I like to clean up mine, you just kind of find a spot here and hit delete and backspace until it cleans up. I used to be able to do that. Not sure why I can't. There it is. Look, I can do that. All right. So it's cleaned up. Okay. But maybe when you put the procedure in there, it's going to go to 2 pages anyway, but I didn't need the blank page. Okay, so that's that one. Now, the third thing you need to work in, don't worry about costing with this one. We'll come back to that later on. The lab form 2017. This is the self-evaluation form. For some of you, you've never done this before. Once again, we're going to enable it. You've got to put all your name and stuff in there. I would save it as something you can remember and wear. But this is a self-evaluation. 5 being great, best thing ever. 1 being not good. So you're going to score the taste, the mouthfeel, the smell, the aftertaste, the appearance, the texture. These are all things you're going to score after the cookie's baked. You're going to get 1 or 2. Not the total. This overall is not the total. It is a 1 through 5 as well. Was this an overall great lab? Overall not good lab? Barely acceptable. It was an okay lab. But why? This is the why. The notes is going to verify what the score that the taste got. Verify the score the mouthfeel got. Why? What about the mouthfeel gave it a 2 for barely acceptable? Okay. You're going to have to explain that. This is subjective, so it's up to you. There is no right or wrong answer here. You can tell me the entire thing sucked. Not good all the way down. As long as you explain why it's not good, you get all full points with it. You get points for filling this out, not for the scores you put in it. Now, however, I might look at some of these others for content. Oops, wrong one. I would look for these for content. I'll check the math, the figures. I'll check that you have this stuff in there. Okay, a description. I'll check that you have procedures, footnotes, headnotes. That, yes, you can lose points for having the incorrect information in. But this one here is your opinion. So you can't lose points for your opinion. Well, I guess in some places of the world you can, but not here. Here's where you can lose points on this and where you all do. These are all questions. All that is questions. Okay? You need to answer these questions. What went well? What didn't? What would you change to improve the score above? Explain how your change would improve the items in question, and what did you learn in this lab that you could use next time? That's it. And you can use, it says you could use the back of your papers to write the questions, but we're going to type, so it's going to keep typing. It's going to add another Word file, and that's fine too. Any questions, reach out to me, but that's how these lab forms are to be filled out. Now, when you go back to Teams, you'll see an assignment. I'm putting it in probably today. It's not going to be there yet, but you're going to attach at least 3 files to that assignment. A 4th one if you want extra credit. And let me tell you which one's extra credit. The spreadsheet. This one is extra credit. As long as it's been filled out, as long as there was really a conversion. If this was 1, you won't get any extra credit. But as long as there was a 0.5 or something along those lines, or 2 or 3, you get extra credit, as long as it's filled out correctly. So that would be a 4th page. I'm holding up my fingers like you can see it. Okay, so that would be a 4th page that would go on to Teams. So you're going to attach You ready? The original recipe, a copy of it. Even if you link it, okay? Even if you attach as a student file a link to this page, that's fine. You're going to attach this page if you want extra credit. You're going to attach this page, and you're going to attach this page completed. So that's up to 4 pages. One of them can be a link if it's that recipe, okay, to OneNote. And you should know by now how to do that. So I shouldn't have to teach you how to attach files to Teams by now. However, some of you have struggled with that. So reach out to me via Remind, via email, via Teams chat if you're having problems figuring that out. Otherwise, have a good day, guys.